Welcome everybody. Ooh, why is it glare? Hold on a second. It's glare. Sorry. Sorry. What is this? YouTube. There we go. Hello, TikTok. Hello, IG. Hello, YT. Now y'all know what y'all are. I can't say because you know TikTok be getting jealous. But hello, IG. Hello, YT. Alright, if you guys need help with those initials, please put a comment. How you guys doing today? Good. Where's your free hug? Right here. Delivered. Well, thank you for them roses. Thank you for them roses. You don't know your ABCs. Okay, well, YT stands for you and a television. You know, what did they used to call them back in the day? Okay, so that's the YT. IG, when you want something done now, okay, you want it to be instant, okay. You get it? You get it? Oh, okay. Rose got, I'm crying. I had to make sure. Oh, thank you. You and a tub with a E. Not sure what that means. Unicorn Riah for president. Now, listen. I would not like me to be president. I'll tell you that right now. You would not recognize America after I was done with it. You have Robert. Oh, period. All right. So, we are, when I say we multitasking, we are multitasking today. We are going to do the next chapter in this book. Okay. Also, there are no moderators. So, this is a patience test for all of you guys. All right. TikTok, you guys thought you had it bad. You would not believe the comments that they allow on YT. So, YT, if you're here and you're like, what is going on? It's because YT has this free range in the comments. So, just know that this is a patience test. You can pass it. Don't get up your energy. And, just listen. You might have to just hold and clear the captions. Clear the comments. I know on TikTok, if you hold the screen and then hit clear display, it will move the comments. I'm not sure what it is on YT, and I'm not sure what it is on IG. So, if somebody knows how to do it, you guys can put it in the comments. Please and thank you. Good afternoon. Oh, I do. No, I'm sorry. Easy, I don't have any mods. This is an active patience test, all right? We are adding patience skill points to our character builds. So that's why I have 0 mods, all right? You can do it. Get these PSP points. Put them in your pocket. Save them for when you need them. For when somebody in the real world is, testing your patience, you can just pull out these PSP points you got from my live and be like, oop, unbothered. Unfazed, okay? So, yeah, no mods. So study. Not study. All right. Is this every Monday? Okay, YouTube, I'm sorry. I've been neglected. I'm sorry, YT. I'm going to say YT. YT, I've been neglecting y'all. I'm just being honest. But I'm getting better. Look, I'm on 3 phones today. Okay? So I normally stream Monday through Friday. Sometimes even on the weekends. However, I be going back and forth between IG and TikTok. Okay, it'd be a lot. So I just don't be having, enough in me to do another phone. But today I woke up with hella energy. Okay, I woke up on the left, right, up, and down side of the bed. So I got y'all today. So I am going to do my best to incorporate you guys as well in my daily streaming. So just in case, Make sure you follow me on Instagram. I mean IG. Sorry, TikTok's a little. Make sure you follow me on IG at Unicorn Riah's IG, and make sure you follow me on TikTok, which is the best app ever. On the THEE Unicorn Riah. Okay. Now, oh, thank you for the heart, me, Marcus. If you missed the beginning chapters of this book, they are on YT, they are on IG, and they are on TikTok, okay? They are on YT in a playlist, so you can go to the chapter where you left off at. They are on IG, not in the playlist. You're going to have to scroll, I'm just being honest. And TikTok, I don't even know if I uploaded them here. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure they might be in the playlist. If they on here, they're on the playlist, okay? But they're absolutely on the playlist on YT. So, guys, please make sure you're following me everywhere. Thank you. Hey, Obi-Wan. Today, stay tuned. Thank you for them roses. And a squirrel and a goat and a Jelena popping a freestyle and a go and a oldies and a kick slice and a live and a 360 chair and a hot crossbow. Ooh, a hot crossbow. I've never seen that. And a lightning and a wink and a 360 and a TikTok. Thank you. And an ice cream cone and a oldies and a live and a goat and a chili and a pop and a freestyle and a squirrel and a corn. That GMO corn is that it's GMO corn. And the freestyle and a chili and a GG and a oldies, and thank you for the live and a 360 chair and a hot cross buns. And an ice cream cone and a boat, lightning and a wink and a heart puff. Period. And a TikTok. And a GG. And a oldies and another oldies. And a goat and a chili and a pop and a freestyle. And a corn. And a how are you? I am amazing. And a squirrel and a corn. And a how are you? And a rose. Obi-Wan, you are amazing. Oh, you still going with a live and a cake slice, period. And the oldies. All right. And heart me, thank you. And a creeper. Thank you for that creeper. All right, so we left off in chapter 5. And I'm sorry. I did have all of them on the board, but I had to use the board for something else. So I'm not going to put them back on the board. But, however, if you look at the old chapters, so the board is right there. So you still have the board, okay? Thank you, Obi-Wan. All right. Is everybody ready? Does anybody have any questions before I get started? Once I am started, I will take a break in between chapters so I can answer your questions. But if you still have a question, you should just put it in the comments because somebody in the chat may have an answer and you won't have to wait for me. But just letting you know, if somebody come in here, they're like, oh my God, why she not responding? Just like, bro, she will when she gets to the end of the chapter. Okay? Okay, period. All right, bet. Thank you, Obi-Wan. All right. Yes, I know that's right, Obi-Wan. On the mission. Okay. Chapter fly. Start over. Because I almost said chapter fly. And that ain't it. Thank you, Obi-Wan. Okay, I'm ready. Chapter 5. Clairgustance. Clear knowing. I don't know how I know what I know. I just know that I know it. Chip coffee. Sometimes you just know things without even knowing how or why you know it. This is clairgustance, and every one of us will experience this at least once in our lifetime. It can be the coolest, most miraculous form of psychic ability, but it is often the most overlooked. So, when will I get my next check? My client Seb asked. He's a contractor, and like so many, he is living hand to mouth or paycheck to paycheck. You will get something on Tuesday and something on Thursday, I responded without hesitation. How do you know that? He continued with a questioning look. I just know. Mark my words. You will get 2 checks. One on Tuesday and one on Thursday, I repeated. Sure enough, he received 2 checks that week on those specific days. It wasn't that I saw a calendar in my mind or that I heard the days spelled out. I just knew the answer instantly by tapping into my cognizant psychic sense. Psychic ability is about perceiving that which is not readily accessible or available using only the 5 physical senses. Claircognizance takes those physical senses and throws them out the window. Without rhythm or reason, this incredible psychic sense takes you to a plane of existence that leaves you wondering, how the heck did I know that? If you want to develop your psychic senses, you need to train your awareness. Your 7th chakra, the crown chakra, is located on the very top of your head. It is where your spontaneous knowing or claircognizance is centered. It is where you are spiritually connected to the universe, and even where deceased loved ones and your guides can easily influence your ideas and thoughts. It is this chakra that connects you to the spirit world, opening much like a floodgate on a dam to allow information to flow through to you. Tuning into your crown chakra creates opportunity needed to activate your claircognizant sense. Sometimes this happens quite easily and even matter-of-factly. Other times, it takes a conscious effort to really turn on this incredible sense. It goes beyond most rational processes to believing we can just know something that we have no logical basis on knowing. Yet, this is how claircognizance works. Meditation is a gateway to opening up those psychic senses. It is an important tool in developing your intuition and one that shouldn't be overlooked. By meditating, you allow your mind, body, and spirit to slow down and relax, becoming more open and, yes, even vulnerable to channeling information that is right there in the universe, ready to be tapped into. Sometimes people have a hard time slowing down enough and getting out of their own way to feel they can successfully meditate. I am one of those people. I have a hard time shutting down my own mind chatter. Even still, utilizing every tool in your toolbox is the most productive avenue to strengthening those muscles and learning to flex them. Meditation is a huge part of spirituality and a great way to access your claircognitive gifts. It is not just an Eastern practice or even a religious exercise. Meditation's history extends all the way back to prehistoric times when rhythmic chants were practiced to appease the gods and bring food, health, and shelter. Practicing meditation spans the globe with roots in Hinduism, Taoism, Buddhism, Islam, and even Christianity, to name a few. Meditation is not limited to one religion or one race. Instead, it crosses every boundary to bring peace, relaxation, and focus to all. It is an unbiased, non-prejudiced, non-religion. Lao Tzu, the official father of Taoism, stated, "To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders." Meditation at its core is a form of relaxation where the mind is cleared through conscious focus. And therefore, it creates a state of conscious and unconscious awareness at the end to itself or to realize some benefit. It is a tool that can be used to greater wisdom and strength and feelings of peace, love, joy, and contentedness. It can also bring you to a state of heightened psychic awareness, creating a vibrational level that will promote your intuitive senses. That form of focused meditation is useful if you want to increase your own abilities and can be done in the comfort of your own home, without all the bells and whistles sometimes attributed to meditative trance. Meditation is a wonderful instrument for accessing your claircognizant gifts. Exercise. Keep your head together. Opening your crown chakra is painless, but it definitely requires some preparation. You don't want to jump into this without first protecting yourself. With this 7th chakra opens, it becomes a channel for spirit, and you want to be sure to prevent negative entities or energy from easily stepping through. You'll need at least half an hour for this exercise, so go somewhere you won't be disturbed and where you can be comfortable. Bring your journal with you. Then sit or lie down and relax. Begin by breathing. Take a nice deep breath and imagine filling your lungs up with pure oxygen. Know the oxygen that's flowing is pushing out any impurities and clearing your body of any debris that doesn't belong there. As you exhale, focus on all the debris leaving your body, pushed out with your breath through your mouth and all of your pores. Continue breathing, steadily inhaling and exhaling, all the while feeling the energy of the pure oxygen flowing into your lungs. Stay in this rhythm for at least 5 minutes, consciously focusing on your breath. Now, bring all of your attention to the top of your head. Imagine that you can feel the hair follicles pulsing with every breath. Feel the roots of your hair as they slowly begin to gently move and sway. Allow the sensation to the movement to flow down to the rest of your body, beginning with your 3rd eye chakra. Feel the warmth as it spreads around your forehead area. As your head becomes more tingly and your hair starts feeling like it's sticking straight up, let the energy move even farther down into your communication chakra, your throat area. Imagine seeing and feeling your throat opening, allowing clear passages for positive energy. Next, bring your energy into your chest center, your healing chakra. Feel your heart expanding with every breath, breathing in and sending out healing throughout your body. Move that energy down to your solar plexus and allow any excess weight or debris to melt away as you feel the tingling spreading around your abdomen. Gently guide that positivity into your navel area and allow it to flow into your entire reproductive system. Then, move it all the way down to your base, the root chakra, between your legs and the bottom of your spine, and allow the positive energy to flow up and reconnect as if it's part of a circuit to the top of your head, your crown. As the stream of positive, healing, relaxing energy forms a complete circle, direct it to spread into a bubble around your body. Envision it spreading out and encompassing your feet, your arms, and all the way up to the top of your head. This sphere of protection is now turning into a shimmery silver color, filled with pops of glittery sparkles of positive energy. Now, imagine that the top of your head is loaded with hundreds of fiber optic wires puffing out of your crown, lit up with all different colors. Imagine these wires stretching out all around you, still protected by the silver, sparkly sphere, reaching toward the sky and the earth and everything in between. As they extend, Feel the energy they draw into your crown chakra, your claircognizant center. What comes next is important. Believe that the answers you seek will be sent to you through the fiber optic cables, just as your television receives a signal and broadcasts shows. Think of the question you want an answer to. It can be a request for which direction to go, when money will come in, what's the best route to take for you will be for you professionally, whether you should have more children, etc. The wisdom you are looking for should be about you and should be personal. The answers you will get will be incredible. Did it feel right? Do you know what the outcome will be? Did you get the answers you expected? Are you excited, sad, happy, disappointed? Try again. Do it many times. Are you allowing yourself the space to just know the answers, or are you trying to justify it? Enjoy the process. Don't question it. Let yourself go, and you will just know. Just drive. Claircognizance, though highly difficult to always detect, is a gift well worth cultivating. Once recognized as a psychic sense, claircognizance can bring an unshakable wisdom or knowledge about many different areas in life. This clear knowing can tell you about a person you've just met, or the best look in your new kitchen, or when it's time to perform a maintenance check on your car. Ellen, my client, experienced how this claircognizant sense worked firsthand after our session together. I was tuning into her energy and getting a variety of information for her, but one thing stood out. I'm not sure what this means, but I know there's something going on with your car. Does this make sense to you? I'm getting that you need to do some type of maintenance, I suggested to Ellen. I'm not sure what that means, she replied. Okay, I know it's about maintenance. You need it to do an oil change or something. You need to check your tires. There's something going on with your tires. I think maybe you need to rotate them. Not sure exactly what will happen, but I wouldn't put either of them off, I told her. All right, I will check it out. About a week later, I received an email from Ellen. It said, "You mentioned that I should take care of my car. Nothing alarming, but do what needed to be done. I had oil change and rotate tires on my to-do list for months, so I decided I should take care of these things as you suggested. I took care of the oil change, and when I went to Town Fair Tire to have my tires rotated, 2 different locations, they both said that there was a 2-hour wait and to come back Saturday at 8 and we'll have you out in 20 minutes. Both places said that. So Saturday rolls around and it's raining and I decide to sleep in. That afternoon, I got a flat tire. I raced to Town Fair on the spare, and they're in the process of closing, but say, if you come back at 8 on Monday, we can have you out in 20 minutes. So I ended up there at 8 on Monday, after all, and got the flat tire repaired and my tires rotated. Can't help but think someone was pranking me. Plus, I was not expecting a change for a flat repair and had very little cash on me. The charge came to $4.20. I had 3 $1 bills on me and exactly $1.20 in change. I was down to counting pennies, but I had the right amount. I don't know what all this means, but I was laughing. I definitely felt like something was going on. Hold on. First of all, sorry. But where is she getting her tires and rotated and changed for $4.20? Anybody? I'm sorry. Okay. I couldn't explain to Ellen how I knew she was going to have problems, except to share how claircognizance works. Sometimes this clear knowing produces precognitive flashes of insight. Precognition is being able to discern events in the future that have not yet occurred and of which you have no previous knowledge. The precognitive knowing I had for Ellen helped her, though putting off the tire rotation may have unintentionally caused the flat that I had alluded to her in the reading. Exercise. What do you know? It is your chance to read your own future. If you've been looking externally to other people in order to determine an event or a decision, it's time for a change. Now, you can do it for yourself. As always, go somewhere comfortable and begin by breathing deeply. Focus on the top of your head. Imagine there's a huge silver funnel of energy emerging from your crown chakra and spreading out to the universe. Place a circle of white light all around you, surrounding you, and protecting you from any negativity. When you're sure you are fully shielded, take another deep breath and continue. For this exercise, you need to trust the answers you are getting are real and they are coming to you claircognizantly. You will experience the answers through clear knowing rather than hearing or seeing them. Think of a question regarding your future, a situation, a person, etc. Ask the question, and while you do, believe that you will receive the response. It may take a moment or two, but you will be blessed with a clear sense of knowing the answer. Once you're confident and you know the answer to your question, ask another one. Wait until you are positive about you absolutely know the response. Keep going until you no longer know the answers or you get tired. Don't ask more than 5 questions during one sitting. The answers tend to get convoluted, and it's tricky to ascertain if you are using your claircognizance or a different psychic sense. If you've received your answers in a way other than clear knowing, that's all right. That can happen if you have 1 or 2 other strong senses. The key is to persevere. Don't give up if it didn't work right away. You can take the entire week to really focus on your sense of knowing. If you did attain your answers through your claircognizance, more power to you. This is great. Again, give yourself the week to work on your clear knowing. This may prove to be your most utilized psychic ability in your intuitive toolkit. A boutique. All of the psychic senses can contribute to precognizant flashes, but clear knowing is sometimes more difficult to identify. Becoming acquainted with the sensation you experience when you know something is key to discovering this intuitive gift. When you are having a true claircognizant moment, it will come from outside. You are merely observing the information rather than actually generating the thoughts. Claircognizant knowing can defy logic. There may be absolutely no reason you can fathom that you are receiving the information. It may have no connection whatsoever to anything you are thinking or that you are involved with at the current time. After I graduated high school, I worked full-time in accounting and went to college at night and on the weekends. I was all set to be an accountant, a profession I subsequently worked in for 11 years. I prepared taxes for a public accounting firm and then went on to be a controller of the company. Before I began my career as an accountant, I was in my senior year of high school, and all of a sudden I had a knowing that I would own a boutique. Anyone who knew me at that time knew that although I enjoyed the latest fashions and usually dressed to impress, when I was out, I really wasn't planning on owning my own store, and certainly not one that may be required for me to go into a city to purchase clothing. I doubted the claircognizant impression I had. There was no way I would work in or own a boutique of any kind. Years later, while I was working, I had another clear knowing. I would own a store and it would be colorful. Again, this came out of the blue and I doubted its validity. I decided this was just my imagination, or possibly it was connected to someone else. I ignored it. I got married, and 3 months later, I became pregnant with my first baby. From the moment I became pregnant, I started thinking about quitting my job. I knew without reservation there was no way I wanted to remain there where I was after my baby was born. But I had no idea what I would do. I knew I still needed to work, as we needed 2 incomes. We had purchased a new home right before we were married, and the mortgage was not going to pay itself. I also knew there was no way I wanted to leave my soon-to-be daughter all day long. Still, I had no plan until one day immediately after my first baby was born. I was visiting my sister about a half hour from where I lived, and we went to a children's consignment store. Instantly after walking through the door, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to open a children's consignment store. I quickly did research and began acquiring inventory. I located a space, and my husband and I outfitted it. I quit my job, and I had my grand opening. Then I realized, this is my boutique. My bright, multicolored painted floor and rainbow-hued walls confirmed it. I hadn't believed it possible when I initially had the claircognizant impressions, but I should have. Sometimes it's all about timing. If I'd had the precognitive flash and began looking for something else, it would have altered my life, and I may have never worked as an accountant, married my husband, had a baby, opened a child's consignment store, or even had my next baby. It would have all been different. Looking back, I recognize those clear knowing moments as incredible claircognizant gifts. Looking forward, I hope it to remain open to more. Journaling can help us recognize these 7th chakra hits. By writing these spur-of-the-moment, out-of-the-blue perceptions down, it becomes easier to distinguish when they happen. Creating the space to open your claircognitive and precognitive flashes further their occurrence, and more importantly, allows them to become more ordinary or second nature. Exercise. Write what you know. Think back to a time when you knew something but doubted it. It can be as significant as my story with the boutique, or it can be something as simple as knowing you'd play a sport when you had no natural inclination or desire towards it. Then you found yourself participating later in life. Though you are mainly using your claircognizance, you may find other psychic senses creep in as well, especially if your knowing included a vision. That's okay. The main point of this exercise is to begin writing it all down and recognizing that these claircognizant flashes may also be precognitive knowings. Try remembering the time frame involved. Did it take years to have your precognition come to fruition as it was in my story? Or did it happen quickly? Or has it even come to pass? If it has happened, what changes might it have made in your life if you acted on it sooner rather than later? Or even later instead of sooner? Does it make your life easier, better, worse? Did it affect someone else? Write down everything you can think of that is relevant. Then do it again. Is there another time you had a clear cognizant or precognizant impression? Record it now. Oh, this is my favorite. Sorry. Automatic writing. Once you become accustomed to journaling and the writing starts to flow more effortlessly, you may find yourself writing words that you weren't intending or sentences that do not seemingly originate from your own thoughts. You may have stumbled upon automatic writing. Automatic writing is another way to access your clear cognizance and is a great way to receive answers to any questions you may have. Automatic writing is a way to channel your higher self. It's also an accessible way to receive assistance from your spirit guides, angels, deceased loved ones from the other side, and the universe. This type of freestyle writing gives you the opportunity and format to tune into your clear knowing in a manner that is non-invasive and non-threatening. Automatic writing provides you with the means to tune into your soul. That's a pretty incredible ability. An easy way to use automatic writing, also known as channeled soul or spirit writing, is to start by asking a question. This form of communication with your spirit can be a little confusing in the beginning. It may feel, again, as so often claircognizance can, that it's just your imagination. You might continue to feel that you're just making it all up. Eventually, you will find yourself receiving messages you had no way to know. This is true automatic writing. Intent is what sets channeled writing apart from regular journaling. As you journal, you're writing about what you're already aware of or already thinking about. With soul writing, you are tapping into the wisdom of the universe in order to satisfy or access your clear cognizance. In addition, and sometimes more importantly, it is a purposeful or purpose-driven practice to uncover your deep-seated knowledge. The wisdom you've carried with you throughout all of your lifetimes. Occasionally, the queries you write will provide you with replies you never expected. Channeled writing can also give you directions on how to achieve what you've asked about. The more you practice the art of spirit writing, the more proficient you will be. What begins as pages of conscious journaling before receiving possibly one or two mystical answers can turn into one or two conscious words immediately followed by soul wisdom. Sometimes you will even receive answers to questions you were only thinking of asking. This phenomenon is well documented among other divinatory processes commonly called psychic override, and it's your higher self's way of communicating an important message to you that it might not otherwise have had a chance to do, says Eden McCoy in 1994. The only way to experience automatic writing and to truly understand it is to do it. Like many things paranormal or psychic, practicing it brings knowledge, and more significantly, it brings excitement, enjoyment, and fun. Exercise. Practice automatic writing. Get out a journal or multiple pieces of paper. Then Bring your circle of protection around you as you breathe in and out. Now, in your relaxed state, take another breath. Put your pen to paper and write the following words. Dear Universe, I really love to connect to the infinite wisdom that resides within me and around me. I am excited to share in whatever knowledge you wish to channel through me. I am sincerely thankful and filled with gratitude and appreciation for everything I have and everything to come. I am ready and open and eager for any messages you have for me. Now, let the words flow. Begin writing whatever comes to mind, whatever flows from your pen. Even if it feels like you are consciously writing, continue. Don't stop. It's okay. It may take a page or two before you are no longer concentrating on what you are writing. The words will just begin to flow, and spirit will be directing your pen. If you find after writing a couple of pages, or for at least 10 minutes, that you are still consciously processing everything, stop. Take a breath. Put your pen down. Next, think of a question you'd like an answer to. Try not to make it something you already know the answer to. If you were to receive a different response than you know to be true, it will turn you off. Go through the same process. Begin by writing down your question. Then try and take your mind out of it and let your hand begin to move. Again, if it feels like your imagination, it's all right. Just keep going. Give it at least 10 minutes. Use this exercise a few times this week to really make it work for you and make the connection. Once you do, you will know. When you read it back, you may not even recognize the style of writing, as it won't necessarily be your own. On the edge. About 2 decades ago, before all of this started for me, I experienced a shift. This shift left me feeling a bit empty, although I knew there was some kind of energy revving up within me and around me. I couldn't quite grasp what was missing or what was happening, but I knew there was something huge going on. I felt as though I was on the edge of something, about to jump into a whole new world. It seemed as though that edge was moving, keeping just enough distance from me that I couldn't quite move past it, but close enough that I felt its tantalizing pull on my psyche. This thing, this elusive edge, was taunting me, drawing me toward what I knew promised to be something incredible, yet at the same time keeping itself protected. This cliff I was diving off was elusive, but I was able to catch glimmers of knowing it was there every day, multiple times a day. It got to the point that I felt like I could taste it, just like when you have a word on the tip of your tongue, but you can't quite vocalize it. I was unable to translate in feelings or words what the edge was, or, more importantly, what was on the other side of this cliff. This, understandably, was making me crazy. I wanted to understand. I craved clarity. I needed to know. Then, just like that, it became fully and inexorably apparent exactly what I was on the edge of. I knew, without a doubt, that I was on the other side of the cliff and what would be there when I dove in. This universe was waiting for me, and its infinite wisdom was ready to show me the secrets of the world, one small step at a time. I was really in tune with the energy. I knew that I knew. Though I didn't quite know yet what that meant. It was shortly after when I felt as if I was hit over the head and told, "You need to do this work now." That was the beginning of something great, something incredible. I dove in without regard for what the future held because I trusted it would be fantastic and totally worth putting my energy into. It was the first time I really understood what claircognizance felt like. That clear knowing, the total comprehension and understanding of something you really have no business knowing or prior knowledge. I just knew my life was inescapably altered from that moment on. And if I were to trust that, it would be so much better. After that initial knowing, that deep subconscious coming to terms with the inevitable, I began experiencing more of those knowing moments at the edge of something incredible. I started having moments of perfect clarity that left me knowing that more change was coming, though I couldn't quite put my finger on the next step. I realized, though it wasn't and still isn't complete, that each cliff or each edge brings me to a new aspect of my extrasensory life. These periods, which can be fleeting moments of knowing or take months or even years to come to fruition and understand, bring with them a keen sense of desire, of wanting to know whatever it is I am supposed to know. And I find myself receiving breadcrumbs of knowledge that are eventually and naturally strung together to form the claircognizant beliefs, bringing me to my next level of psychic ability, or introducing me to the next step in my path on my spiritual journey. This knowing that there's more to life we're living brings with it a sense of expectancy that can be so strong it's almost painful. The yearning to know, without a shadow of a doubt, what's on the other side of the cliff is almost overpowering. Knowing without rhyme or reason that something's coming is very powerful. It helps to propel you to the next level or the next achievement. It gives you the desire, even the wherewithal, to continue plunging forward, regardless of the obstacles, to make something incredible happen. This knowing makes you believe that there's more to life than the everyday doldrums that you may be experiencing, or even the happy daily routine you found yourself participating in. You know there's more to it. You know you are getting ready for an awakening. That's what it is. I'm sure of it. It's an awakening of spirit, a charging of our spiritual batteries that is like a trickle charger rather than an ER crash cart. It's a methodical handing out of knowledge from the universe, allowing us time to grasp each step before we move on to the next level. We are, each and every one of us, awakening to the greatness we have inside of us, hooking us into the infinite wisdom that's within us and around us, throughout the vast universe. Hold on, y'all. Let me get some water. beginning at her own pace to know. Exercise. On the edge. Have you ever felt like you were on the edge of something? That there was something coming and you just knew it? That even though you weren't totally sure what you knew, it would be something good or something great? When was the last time this happened to you? Remember, knowing doesn't always mean you know what it specifically is you're going to be on the edge of, but it does mean you know something is revving up, that there's an energy getting ready to blow up in a good way. Write down the last time this happened, this knowing that you were about to enter a new phase of life, or that something was about to open up for you. What was the new phase? How did it feel leading up to it? Did you have an idea of what it would be? How did you feel after it happened? Did it make you happy? Or did it make you not feel good at all? Was it worth the build-up? How did you know it was happening? Write down anything else you can remember about feeling like you were on the edge of change. What was another time in your life you felt that way? Another awakening moment? If so, record that as well. Are you on the edge? My client Jordan is experiencing being on the edge. She's been coming to me for a few months, and we've been working on many different aspects of her spirituality. She's not a beginner by any means. She is a Reiki master and tunes into the energy through her use of her Tibetan bowls. Jordan knows she's on a path. We've been exploring her psychic abilities, and she's discovering truths about herself that she can now work on. She's striving to be the best she can be by utilizing her psychic senses. Jordan knows she is on the verge of entering a new phase in her life. Right now, she can feel it. She knows, and she also describes it, that she's on the edge of something. That greatness is almost within her grasp. She just doesn't know exactly what that greatness is or what she will become when she dives into the other side. But she is ready. Thank you. Thank you, Atlas. I'm sorry. Jordan wants this so bad she can taste it. What I even find more incredible is that she expresses her feelings to me, her knowing, in exactly the same way I explain my own sense of knowing I was on that cliff. Yet, she wasn't aware of my own awakening. Having the knowing, that belief that you are on the edge of another phase in your life can bring excitement into your everyday world. Getting ready to dive into the newest aspect of your being may bring a bit of anxiety as well. This state of being feels as though you're constantly waiting for another shoe to drop, waiting for something extraordinary to happen, or even just waiting, afraid to miss whatever it is that is coming. This alone can make you feel jittery. But knowing there's more to life, more to come, makes all the nerves worth it. When you have this claircognizant sense of knowing, there's no holding back the need to search for whatever you feel is coming. You can find yourself looking, even investigating different avenues that might seem to be leading you to what you need. This is good. Often, it is during the hunt for what's on the other side of the cliff that you learn more about yourself and your psychic senses. This seemingly ever-elusive claircognizant vibe that can make you a little crazy should also be used to help you access your psychic sense. You can learn to access it. Exercise. What's waiting for you? Similar to the last exercise, this time you're going to focus on that knowing feeling of being on the edge by creating that edge. As always, breathe deeply to put yourself into a relaxed state. Then, circle yourself with white light to protect yourself from any negativity. Now, imagine in your mind an actual cliff. Then, focus in on that cliff and what it looks like, feels like, and smells like. Next, imagine on the other side is the answer to unlocking a new phase in your life. Believe that you can know what that new phase is. Once you begin getting a feeling for what is on the other side, tune into it. It is time to know what you need to do next. After you know what's waiting for you, when you pass that initial border, it's time to see beyond the next perimeter. You may practice this exercise a few times, but don't do it too often. You need to give yourself time to bring your knowing to fruition rather than trying to rush it and not fulfilling your next step. Above all, enjoy the anticipation it presents. Give yourself enough time to feel that sense of knowing before you move on. All-knowing. Claircognizance generally is one of the most difficult psychic senses to recognize. Mostly, this is because you're not seeing or hearing anything. Rather, you just need to trust what you know to be without understanding why you know it or having any reasoning behind what it is that you know. However, claircognizance is also one of the most definite psychic senses because when it hits, you just know whatever it is you are meant to know without having to figure it out. And that is the end of chapter 5. Not jangling. You can jangling too if you go to Atlas OG on TikTok and go on the TikTok shop and click on the jangling bracelet. It's on my ankle too. Thank you. Are you guys ready for chapter 6? Yes? No? Any questions? No. This is psychic senses. Psychic abilities. We can do another astrology book once I finish this one. Actually, no, I have another book after this one. But there are other astrology books on my, you're already on YouTube, on YT. So just go to my playlist and you can find them there. Thank you. You ready? All right, let's go. Chapter 6. Hold on. Okay. Oh gosh, TikTok. You know I'm here with these things on puzzles. TikTok like, girl, take a break. I won't. All right. Chapter 6, clairgustance, clear tasting. Taste life. It's delicious. Unknown. Have you ever tasted something even though there was nothing in your mouth? Sounds strange, right? Well, it is. But clairgustance, in its basic form, refers to tasting something that's not actually in your mouth. This is an unusual psychic sense, but it can also be a helpful one. Unlike the more prominent psychic senses, clairgustance may seem bizarre. Seldom does clairgustance work by itself. It rarely presents itself alone without the accompaniment of another intuitive sense. This remarkable gift often serves to enhance our other psychic senses. For example, a taste may evoke a clairvoyant vision, see chapter 2, or a clairsentient feeling, see chapter 4. Commonly, clairgustance is experienced in tandem with clairalience, or clear smelling, see chapter 7. Our physical sense of smell enhances our physical sense of taste, so it follows suit that the same would hold true to the extrasensory realm. I was given evidence of just this fact during a phone session I was doing recently with a young woman named Bambi. We'd been talking for about half an hour, and she was able to validate everything. Mostly, I was discussing things I'd seen clairvoyantly, felt clairsentiently, known claircognizantly, or heard clairaudiently. The next thing I psychically received was different. I was tasting something. I'm tasting citrus, more specifically oranges. What does this mean to you? I asked Bambi. I'm not eating oranges. I mean, I like them, but I can't imagine what it could be. She answered. Okay, well, now I'm also tasting what seems to be Thanksgiving dinner, I continued, knowing there had to be a reason. I don't know. We don't usually have oranges during Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not sure what that is, Bambi said. Maybe you're just hungry. We chuckled at that. After all, admittedly, I was hungry. But I knew there was more to it than something that simple. So, I tuned into my other senses to fill in the blanks. What I saw was the shape of Florida. I felt myself being pulled from Florida to Connecticut. Is someone visiting from Florida? I asked her. I feel like your father is trying to let you know he will be there for this. I believe it will be before Thanksgiving, but in November, I said. Now I was sure of the orange and Thanksgiving taste that I had. Oh yes, of course. I don't know why I didn't get it. My sister is coming up from Florida before Thanksgiving. It should be a great visit, Bambi shared, comforted by the validation that her father was still around and able to be with them in spirit. The clairgustatory impressions I received led me to the location of Florida as well as the November time frame. The phantom taste introduced me to my next psychic hit. Clairgustance was the primary means to let me share with Bambi what her father wanted her to know, that he would be around for their family gathering. Exercise. Sweet or sour? Foods have different flavors. Those flavors can be categorized as citrusy, sweet, spicy, savory, sour, etc. One at a time, think of each food collection. Imagine you are eating something that matches the food group. For example, citrus can be oranges or lemons, sweet can be chocolate, and spicy can be a chili pepper. Make your own connection and make it strong. Allow your taste buds to salivate and really believe you are chewing on the food you've allocated to each flavor. Do it again using different foods. Do some tastes come across stronger than others? Are some more prominent? Are some of the flavors groups more difficult to taste? Practicing will help you recognize the different flavors when you actually experience clairgustance. Cinnamon spaghetti. One of the most common reasons mediums experience clairgustance is to recognize someone through taste. Imagine trying to determine who you are tuning into during a seance and you taste chicken noodle soup. This can be translated by thinking symbolically, as in whoever is trying to come through was a chicken. But chances are it instead represents Grandma, who was known for her chicken noodle soup and whom you regularly shared this soup with. I was doing a reading for an older gentleman named Tim. He had been in my office for about 45 minutes and hadn't connected to anyone from the other side, per se. It was all about his past, present, and future life. He asked me if there was anything else. All of a sudden, I'm tasting something kind of strange. I want to say I'm eating pasta with normal meat sauce, but there's more to it, I told him. I don't know what that means. I haven't had pasta for quite a while. I'm not having any gluten anymore, so I rarely have macaroni, he responded. Unless there's more to it. Is it because it's brown rice or gluten-free pasta? My daughter has been making me crazy lately. Everything's all about staying away from anything with white flour, he said with a smile. I don't think that's what it is. Maybe my taste buds are off, but I feel like there's an unusual ingredient in the pasta or the sauce, I continued. Does this make sense to you? I'm not really sure. I can't imagine what it could be, he said, a bit disappointed that I hadn't connected to anyone. I know this sounds crazy, but I taste nutmeg and cinnamon in the spaghetti sauce, I said, feeling there was no way this would ring true at all. Oh my goodness, I know exactly what that is, Tim responded, and I watched a tear roll down his cheek. You've connected to my late wife, he whispered. Really? Was that a normal recipe? It seems strange, I countered. On one of our first dates ever, she told me she wanted to cook for me. I had asked her if she was any good, and she answered she really wasn't, but she wanted to try anyway. She told me I was worth the effort, he shared, more tears moistening his eyes as well as his face. So were the nutmeg and cinnamon part of the dessert? I asked. No, he laughed. She had never made homemade pasta sauce, so she didn't want to go that far. But she didn't want to serve me just jarred sauce, so she decided she would doctor it up with some spices. She had no idea which ones to use, so she grabbed the ones near the front. Those were nutmeg and cinnamon. When I got to her apartment, she had the table set beautifully, candles and all. We sat down and took the first bite, and both of us practically spit it out. We were definitely not expecting what we experienced in our mouths. It was an explosion of flavor, but not in a good way. Well, we both cracked up, ate dinner anyway, and the rest is history. We laughed about that quite a bit before she died. What a wonderful story. I definitely think this is her way of coming through to let you know that she's around. She's also letting us know that she still has her sense of humor. Oh yes, she had a wonderful sense of humor. I miss that the most, I think, he told me with a smile. His connection was made. The love of his life had come through with a private message that only he could have known. This was total validation that his wife was around, continuing their shared experiences and recognizing a pivotal, life-changing time for both of them. Might she have come through in a different way? Of course. But she chose to share something special and made me taste her presence, which had become the best part of the reading. Having a deceased loved one come through is great. Clairgustance can also act as a precognitive tool. Along the same lines as tasting that strange pasta sauce, imagine tasting your best friend's favorite food, having that phantom flavor in your mouth. You haven't seen or heard from this best friend in a year because you've both been so busy and you've moved away from each other. But now you have this taste in your mouth, and it's your best friend's food, and it's been there all day. Next thing you know, you open up your computer and there's an email from just that person telling you that they are coming to visit next week. That's precognitive clairgustance. Tasting something that's not actually in your mouth is one of the prevalent forms of clairgustance. Interpreting what you taste is important. Recognizing that flavor and matching it to a person, a time frame, or a life event is vital to understand the meaning behind the taste. Learning how to translate it is fundamentally key. Exercise. Try out clairgustance. Get out a pen and your journal. Open up to a fresh page. On the top of the page, write clairgustance. Now, think of 10 people. They can be dead or alive, family or friends. Write down their names, leaving plenty of room to write under each one. Then, connect taste with everyone on your list, one by one. If you wrote down your husband's name and his favorite food is mint chocolate chip ice cream, write that down. The point of this exercise is to associate each person with a specific taste that you can recognize. Keep going until you've finished all 10 people. If you've written down additional names, complete those as well. When you're all done, go back over your list. Do the taste you've specified truly fit with a person you've connected them to? If you're sure, then you can move on to the next step. If you need to make some changes, now's your chance to do it. Next, go back to each person on your list. Can you taste the food in your mouth? Does it make sense to you? Does it taste like a real thing? If you're having a difficult time tasting the various foods, take it to the next level and actually make or buy the food and eat it so you can specifically recognize the taste. As you're experiencing the flavors, whether physically or psychically, think of the person you've connected it to. Be sure you really lock in on the flavor with the person. From now on, using your clairgustance, you will easily be able to link each person with their food. Changing tastes. Have you ever tasted something that didn't taste the way it normally should? Or had something to eat that made you think of someone or something? This is another form of clairgustance. To actually eat something and have it trigger something else. Now, I'm not talking about how my sister's potato salad makes me think of my grandmother because she's the only one in the family who can even come close to reproducing the flavor and taste. I'm speaking, rather, of the flavor composition tasting entirely different than it ought to. Sometimes the flavors can even change while you're eating, from minute to minute. You may start off eating a cheeseburger and having it actually taste like a cheeseburger. But then it tastes like you're eating black raspberry ice cream. And then, after a few bites, it starts to resemble squash or zucchini. This can be unusual, but not unheard of. I've attended many different classes at the Omega Institute for Holistic Studies. While there, students sleep in dormitory-style rooms or mostly shared semi-private rooms. The workshops can last anywhere from a weekend to an entire week. Included in the cost are tuition, room, and board. The dining hall serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Inside and on an extremely large porch are many round tables that people occupy. Everyone sits with a variety of students from all the classes whom they may or may not know. It was during one of these stays that I had a clairgustatory experience. I was sitting at a table with about 7 other people whom I didn't recognize or know. They were not part of my class for the week. Some were in a cooking class and some were in yoga, but they were all interested in what I was doing there. So I told them. I was there for a psychic workshop and we were talking to dead people. Now, some people are skeptical, myself included, so they wanted proof. I told them, just as I tell everyone, you're welcome to believe it or not. It's entirely up to you. So, is anyone with us now? One of them asked. I'm not tuning in right now. I'm just trying to eat my lunch, I laughed. All right. It's not something that happens automatically? I thought you could just pick something up out of the blue, another shared honestly. Sometimes, but I usually focus on the connection to make it stronger, I continued, explaining that if I was on all of the time, I would never be able to live in the present moment. Okay. As we sat there eating our salads, I remarked on how delicious it was. As everyone was busy mm-hmming and agreeing, I realized the salad didn't taste the same. The lettuce and the other vegetables that had moments ago tasted fresh now tasted moldy, almost musty. Then I began tasting strawberries, which expanded into strawberry shortcake. That's strange. I just got a really musty taste, and now I taste strawberry shortcake. I explained to the group at the table, does anyone else's salad taste strange? Everyone shook their head no. Their salads were still delicious. Wait, did you say musty and strawberry shortcake? One of the people at the table asked. Yes. Why? Does your food taste like that too? No. But my mother always talked about how her food always tasted moldy or musty. Nothing tasted good. Everything was very unappetizing. The only food that tasted relatively normal was appetizing was strawberry shortcake. So we prepared that for her at least twice a week and made sure she always had fresh strawberries on hand, she replied, amazed. Wow. I taste something that I can only describe as sick or ill in my mouth. It tastes like what I would imagine cancer would taste like. But I'm also feeling a lot of love. That's what made her taste buds bad and what she eventually died from. She had cancer. Oh my God. I can't believe she came through that way, she explained with tears in her eyes. Thank you for that. I know she is trying to tell me she is here, and that's so what I needed to hear. This was one of the first times I ever experienced clairgustance in this way. My food literally started tasting different. It wasn't just a phantom taste. My salad actually changed its flavor. While every bite I took, I tasted something unusual. This episode of clairgustance helped me bring comfort to someone who was really looking for validation that there was more to life than what we live here on earth. I was able to prove to her, without even trying, that her mother was still around and that her spirit was present with her and that she was sharing her love. Exercise. Sensing taste. This will be a culinary experiment, one that will get your clairgustatory juices flowing. Get together with a friend for lunch or dinner. You are going to be eating a meal, but this time with a twist. Have your friend write down at least 20 different foods on separate slips of paper and fold them up so you can't see them. During your meal, something you really enjoy, pick a piece of paper and look at what food is written down. Now, focus on that flavor as you continue to eat your meal. Can you taste the new flavor? Are you able to almost negate the flavor of what you're eating to taste the flavor listed on the paper? Tell your friend what's recorded and see if they can also taste the new flavor. Try this with all the foods your partner has listed, but be sure you eat your meal and actually taste it between each other food. Do you find some of the foods are easier to experience than others? Does it seem like the saltier ones come through better, or the sweet? Did your friend find it to be the same? Or did they have a harder time with the ones that seemed to be easier for you? As a bonus, did any of the flavors evoke feelings of someone you know or someone who's passed? Did they remind you of an event or time in your life? Remember, by learning to recognize and tune into the flavors, you're developing your clairgustance. What flavor is your name? All of the situations above are forms of clairgustance. The phantom taste and the morphing of flavors are probably the most common of clairgustatory evidence. Experiencing clairgustance to determine something more specific is also possible and happening during one of my sessions many years ago. My client John came in. He was hoping to connect with his mother who had passed. I was able to tune into others in his life, both living and dead. By using a combination of my other psychic senses, I provided him with initials and actual names, but I just wasn't getting anything about his mom. So we moved on to discussing his future regarding his career. Is there a reason I'd be tasting peppermint? I asked John. Not that I know of, he responded. Are you looking for a job where they make mints or medicine or even peppermint mouthwash? I continued. Maybe. I guess it's a possibility. I don't really know where I'm going to be applying yet, but I'll keep peppermint in mind, John answered. I told him that would be a good idea, and then we moved on again to where he would be moving. The first items I had picked up on during his psychic reading were that he wanted to change jobs and move out of state. I'm feeling more up north toward Canada, like Vermont or upper New York State. Does that make sense? I inquired. Actually, yes. I've been considering moving that way because I love the winter weather and would be very happy to be able to ski right out my door, he replied, excited to hear that what he was hoping to sounded like a definite possibility. Great. Maybe that's what the peppermint is. I'm still getting it. Maybe candy canes or hot chocolate with peppermint. I can't help it. The peppermint taste keeps coming through, I told him. Now, maybe it's just because I have bad breath from all this talking, and the spirits are trying to brighten it up so I don't disgust you. But I feel like there's more to it, I laughed, trying to figure it all out. Ha, your breath is fine, he chuckled. Okay, one more try. Is your sugar low? Are you hypoglycemic? I'm not only tasting the peppermint, but I'm hearing peppermint patty. No, my sugars are generally very normal, John said. I think I finally get it. This taste has not gone away. The peppermint flavor, it is there. It's not going away. Was your mom's name Patty? I asked. Oh my gosh. Leave it to her to be so tricky. She was always a jokester. This makes perfect sense now. Her name was Patricia, but everyone called her Patty. Wow. Thanks for showing up, Mom. Patty made sure we validated her presence before she let me stop tasting peppermint. I didn't understand it right away, but she kept the flavor there. I was able to use my clairgustance after all of my other psychic senses had failed to produce the name of John's mother. I have to admit, I'm glad she wasn't referring to a fish called Wanda or something. Tasting fish all through the reading would have been gross. Exercise. Write down the flavor. Take out your journal and begin recording any food, candy, book, movie, etc. that has food and a name reference. You can start off by using candies such as Peppermint Patty and Mary Jane and take it from there. You may want to include Oscar Mayer Wiener. List everyone you can think of and then ask your family and friends for any others they can think of that you may have missed. Now that you know how many connections there are between brands of food or movies or books with names, you may find that link with someone you know may be dead or alive. When you're all done, practice tasting the flavors based on the names you've written down. For example, can you taste peppermint when you think of Peppermint Patty? Begin associating the flavors with different names and or people and record those in your journal as well. Clairgustance for your mind, body, and spirit. Your psychic ability to tune in through taste is not limited to connecting for other people or communicating with the other side. This clairgustatory sense can also be used to tap into your mind, body, and spirit to determine what you need or even what you need to take away. Whether you connect to your clairgustance for health reasons or other purposes, you should know that your fifth chakra or throat chakra not only connects your clairaudience, see chapter 3, it also connects to your clairgustance. Focusing on this area, this communicative chakra will assist you with opening up your clairgustatory sense. I am a hypnotist as well as a psychic. This means I work with people for various reasons. I often have people who come in looking for their current eating habits and their exercise patterns. More often than not, they've already been dieting and working out. This usually is not the problem. Frequently, they are there because they have no idea what they need to do. This is where I connect my hypnotism skills with my intuition. I tune into their energy and try and determine what foods might better serve them and which they should avoid. I do this not only to help them limit their calorie intake, but also to ascertain which foods will allow them to feel healthier overall, mind, body, and spirit. The funny thing is, I find I'm not necessarily limiting them to fruits, vegetables, and protein. I regularly taste chocolate as well. Chocolate is, after all, a food group. Exercise. Help yourself. It's your turn to help yourself now. Go somewhere that you won't be disturbed and get comfortable. Bring your journal with you so you can record the relevant information to review later. Focus on your throat chakra. Bring a brilliant blue color there and imagine it is spreading from your neck, glowing from the inside out. Allow this communication and taste center to open fully and to expand wide. Then, think about your overall health. You're going to ask the essential question, what do I need to do for my mind, body, and spirit? After you say this, say, first, I would like to taste what my body needs to feel and be better on the whole. Then wait. Notice if you begin to taste any flavors or any taste or flavors in your mouth. If not, go back to to imagining the blue light expanding from your throat chakra, and as it does, thank the universe for giving you the opportunity to taste whatever you need by focusing on your neck area. Try it again. Ask what you need for your body. Once you taste something, focus in on it until you are sure what the flavor is. Then move on to the next one. Ask what you need for your mind. Follow the same procedure for this one and give yourself time to truly tune in with your clairgustance. Finally, ask what you need for your spirit. Are there any flavors that are the same? Are they all different? Did you get something for each of them? Do the flavors seem to make sense? Are you able to relate the flavors to specific foods, herbs, or drinks? Or are you barely able to grasp the taste? Write down whatever foods, spices, drinks, herbs, etc. your clairgustance provided you for your mind, body, and spirit. Do they feel right to you? Does it seem like these foods may help you be better in some way? Clairgustance as a vessel. All of your psychic senses can transport you to a place, distance, and time and space. Clairgustance is no different in theory, but it is different in how it works. Have you ever had anything strange occur while eating? Occasionally, with clairgustance, you may feel like you are experiencing something that you aren't physically going through. This is a very rare type of clairgustance, but it does happen. Imagine eating a hot dog and immediately feeling like you are no longer sitting at your dining room table, but were in the middle of a Yankee stadium. Or even on the streets of New York, almost like you were transported there. That bite of the hot dog, that taste, brought you to another place. This, too, is clairgustance, and it has happened to me. Remembering a time when you tasted the same flavor is different than having a true clairgustatory experience. You may eat pumpkin ice cream and remember the time you shared it with your mom 20 years ago. That's not clairgustance, that's nostalgia. However, if you eat pumpkin ice cream and feel like you are transported back to that time 20 years ago with your mom, that is absolutely clairgustance. It's almost like, for a brief time, you are in that time and place. While I was young, we used to have set lunch schedules in elementary school. I remember on Mondays we'd have pasta with meat sauce, and Fridays were pizza days. The meat sauce had a very distinct flavor. I truly believe they snuck liver into the sauce, though no one ever admitted it. About 10 years ago, I was away at a seminar and I ran out for a quick lunch at the roadside food stop. I had placed my order and brought it back to my car to eat. It wasn't pasta, it was a meatball grinder, but it had the same flavor. I remember thinking it tasted familiar. Then, all of a sudden, I felt like I was standing in the school cafeteria, looking around at all of the students. I could tell I was there as my adult self, back in a time when I was a child. Though it only lasted for a brief second, it felt very real. That was a very strange experience, but one I would welcome again. This form of clairgustance is very rare. It involves astral travel, your spirit going to a place distant in time and space while your body stays where it is. Astral travel is more commonly brought on while in a more relaxed state such as sleep or meditation. I was in my car eating my lunch. Exercise. Where do these food memories take you? The first step to experiencing this form of transportation, clairgustance, is to determine what flavors bring on which memories. Get your journal out and open it up to a fresh page. Across the top, write memories of food. Then, one by one, leaving plenty of room to fill in the necessary descriptions, write down foods that hold distant memories. For example, if there's an event called the Oyster Festival in Connecticut that is held on the water every year, there are arts and crafts, shows, music, and more. But one reason people go there is because of the extraordinary amount of food stands. There are two very distinct flavors that always make me reminiscent of the Oyster Festival. One is pizza fritas, and the other is the baked potato, fully loaded with chili, broccoli, bacon, cheese, and sour cream. These two foods will always evoke memories of being at the Oyster Festival. Write down the foods that give you these types of reminiscent feelings. After you've written them down, go back and fill in the blanks. Where does it remind you of? How old were you? Were you with anyone? What were you doing? Was it a happy time? A sad time? Were you excited? Were you having fun? Does it remind you of being somewhere with someone who has since died? Write down everything you can remember about that specific food and then move on to the next one. You may find yourself adding more to the list. This is great. Continue remembering as long as you want. Taste this. You are now a clairgustatory connoisseur. You've taken a fundamentally necessity like food and utilize it as an even more natural, intuitive gift. Though clairgustance may be a rarer or more unique form of psychic sense, it can easily bring back quite a bit of desired or even much needed information. Clear taste can be useful to mediums because it can assist in bringing through deceased loved ones from the other side. It can be helpful to the medical profession by assisting them with a diagnosis or a direction to look to determine what's wrong with a patient, as I mentioned in the introduction. It can be helpful to law enforcement, Imagine working on a murder case and tasting the last food that victim, or more importantly, the murderer, ate, bringing them that much more closer to the right time before death. It can evoke memories and even transport you to another time or place in your life that can make you happy. Clairgustance can even alert you precognitively to an upcoming visit or something even more important. Paying attention to your clairgustance will always be beneficial and may even make you look at food in a whole new way. You should taste everything life has to offer. And that is the end of chapter 6. And I know I grabbed the bookmark, and it is not my fault, okay? We've been here talking about all this dang on food, and my stomach has been up here growling, and I'm like, please don't let them hear my stomach growling. But I need to put some food in there, okay? I didn't even realize that it was after, well, see, I'm not going to say after 1 o'clock. It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm hungry. So, bookmark. We're going to put a pin in it and start chapter 7. And look, we like halfway through the book. Okay, we halfway through. So, if you missed any of the chapters already, make sure you go catch up because they're on my TikTok, they're on my IG, they're on my YT, they're on my my FB, and they're on my X. Yeah, I put them on X too, okay? So go catch up to these chapters while I'm stuffing my face, alright? I'm going to try to taste some of these foods and make them taste like other things. Even though yesterday I was eating some damn blueberries, and they did start tasting musty, and I didn't even wait to see if it tasted like something else. I just spit them out like, nope. So I'm about to go and do some of these exercises myself with this food. And hopefully, okay, welcome back. I haven't been to Land of Kush yet. I went to Carolina Kitchen yesterday because you know they got the plant-based options, and I got their curry chickpeas with some yams and some greens. And I'm about to go eat that. Okay, so I still have to go to Land of Kush though, but it's an hour away from me, so I just be. It's not that I be being lazy. My stomach be like, this place is closer. So it's still on my list. I just haven't been there yet. Any other questions? What's up, Don Carter? The Cake Factory? I'm crying. No? Okay, so we all about to go eat? Oh yeah, you already know. Okay, no? Alright then. I'm hungry, so again, I'll be back later. I don't know what time though. I don't like giving y'all times anyway, because stuff be happening. So ebb and flow. We're gonna ebb and flow back on live. Alright. Oh, thank you. Alright, bye TikTok. See you later. Bye YouTube. I'm crying. See you later, too.